Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Third video of the morning. We're cranking them out. I got the coffee on full blast. I'm here for you guys on this Monday before next week's Thanksgiving. Can you imagine Thanksgiving's around the corner and then Black Friday? Next thing you know, Vlogmas, 25 straight days of vlog Christmas content before Christmas season. So lots to get into, lots to talk about. With Katie here, we're talking about the 12 days of mess. The 12 days of mess are 12 days of Katie posting song lyrics about 12 of her last partners. I say that term loosely from the show The Bachelorette. Of course, she started with Blake Moynes, her recent ex that she was engaged to, saying, "We're never, ever, ever getting back together." And then Andrew Spencer, I believe that was called Run or something, like that. And then I'll share with you guys number 3 and number 4 today. She has to warn her followers, don't hate on Thomas. This is all in good fun. And after that, I'm going to share what she said about Reddit and how and why she avoids it permanently because of how much of a cesspool it is. And Connor said, "I have never in my entire life felt worse about myself than seeing what people say about me on the Reddit Bachelor threads." I'll explain why this is different, in my opinion, than receiving hate on Twitter or YouTube. I'll explain all of that at the end. Stick around for that part of the video. It's pretty fascinating. So we'll get into all of that in a second. First, Hollywood Improv tonight, 7:30 p.m. If you want to come laugh, come to the show. Let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram at DNeals, and we'll get you hooked up for that show. All right, so let's start here. When the person, you receive hate in all directions. So here she is, someone calling her out for having lip filler, and she says, "I don't get lip filler." Now, if she did get lip filler, fine. Do what you want with your body. She's 30 years old. She's an adult woman. This person wrote, "I am a licensed esthetician and have worked at multiple med spas. I love you, but you're lying. You have lip fillers, and that's fine, but don't lie." Now, Katie had mentioned before when she smiles, her lips go under her teeth, like kind of like that a little bit. And when she has resting face, her lips are more plump. So maybe that's why the esthetician. But I mean, the ovaries on somebody to think that they can call someone out. Look, if she has lip fillers and she's telling us she doesn't, then that's fine too. That's you know what I mean? But clearly it's like, what is she says, when this person insists I'm lying about never having lip fillers. So just to start there, general distrust. All right, so here we are. So 12 days of mess. Day 4 is Thomas. All right, so we're going to get into this. I knew you were trouble is day 4. Let's see what else she has to say.
My story, so I will probably have to do this a few times, but 12 days of mess was inspired by a DM in honor of Taylor's newest album. You can see the highlight in my profile of anyone that you've missed. I will do 12 songs. I am on day 4. It's also not that serious. You can just see based on some of the songs so far.
It's serious.
Maybe it's just a title. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe it's absolutely nothing. I mean, think about it. 12 songs, 12 guys, it's a lot. But I'm very excited. I'm enjoying it. No hate intended. Some of Taylor's songs are messy. Some of them are nothing but love and respect, So anyway, if you want to know who you've missed, just go to my story highlight. Also, please no hate to, like Thomas, for example, today. He obviously is very different than what we all see on TV, just like all the other guys are.
So someone said, "Have any of the guys responded yet?" Aaron James was very LOL, loving it. And Katie said, "Yes, a few. You pick out my Swift song yet?" I wonder who this was. This could have been Connor Brennan, maybe Michael A. "You pick out my Swift song yet?" She goes, "Yup. Want to know it early? I already had to apologize to Andrew in advance for all the DMs today's song will cause him. Haha, actually not sure I want to know now. Yeah, give it to me." So the person was like, "I don't want to know. Give it to me." So, all right, we'll go through those. Here's day. So we already got Katie acknowledging Thomas, and people are going, "Oh, Katie only likes Thomas now because Becca endorses him." And I go, look, on her season, imagine not having your cell phone, not knowing anything about these guys, and the whole house tells you one guy's a bad guy, and that person's not really great at defending themselves because they've probably never been called out before. Clearly Thomas isn't what the show showed him out to be, and clearly Katie realizes that now. So 12 days of messiness. Day 3 was Aaron and James. And of course, on this day, it was called Girl at Home. And it was essentially because, not that they had girls at home, but I'm trying to find the lyrics here. But it was just the idea that that they really loved each other instead of loving her. So very tongue-in-cheek, not a big deal. Now, Thomas is day 4. I knew you were trouble. So let's go to some of the better comments here and see what people have to say about that. Again, she encourages people to not leave any hate. This is all done in good fun. Makes sense. The Bachelor in Paradise girl said Thomas is really attractive in person. So like Tyler C and maybe Nate, the overall attractiveness screams trouble. This song is still a bop. This is the most harmless choice for Thomas. Greg, you still in danger. Yeah, Greg, and again, I don't know this for sure, but I assume Greg is going to be day 12. I assume the pinnacle will lead up to Greg. Greg, of course, in the first video I made today says he feels bad for Katie and Blake, thinks Blake's a great guy and thinks she's great and wishes her well. But of course, they haven't talked. So we'll have to see what sort of song Katie can make for Greg. Stay in touch for that. Someone said, part of me thinks Greg might get better than revenge solely for the line. She's not a saint. Yeah, she's not what you think. She's an actress. But I'm sure there's a better choice I'm not thinking of right now. So anyway, there's a lot of options here. A lot of options. We'll be following that as it goes. Again, not a big deal. Now, this is more interesting to me. I read this at the start of the video. Bachelor alums typically learn the hard way that it's best to avoid Reddit permanently. Hurt people hurt people. I say that a lot. Katie, are you stealing my lines? You can have that one, Katie. I didn't make it up. Make them anonymous, and it can be pretty dang toxic. Sad Oat, which is the Twitter for Connor Brennan, says, I have never in my entire life felt worse about myself than seeing what people say about me on the Reddit Bachelor threads. I'll say this. People go, well, there's toxicity on Facebook and Twitter and all these other places. I think it stings more on Reddit because Reddit is a combination of communities. So within the Bachelor community, if there's a thread of everybody piling on a contestant, it feels like your own community doesn't like you. It feels like you're being ostracized from a community versus if someone's like, Dave, I don't find you funny at all. I'd be like, all right, whatever. I'm not your cup of tea. No big deal. But if the stand-up subreddit watched one of my comedy clips and was like, Dave, you suck. I'd be like, oh no, there's something innate about our desire to belong. I think we all want to belong. And when it comes to the Bachelor subreddit, it's like they don't want you to belong unless you've had some wild tragedy. It's almost like the collective of the subreddit cannot feel like they relate to a contestant because the contestants have a level of fame. So it's almost like these anonymous people can comment on you because you're higher up, therefore you can take it. That's the idea, at least. Now, by saying that, I don't think all of the subreddit is toxic. I just think the way that Reddit upvotes and downvotes stuff will lead to the snarkiest comments making it to the top of the food chain. But I also feel like there's plenty of people on Reddit that when you call out some foul behavior or some toxic behavior, they completely agree. Let's read some comments. Reddit can get pretty bad for sure, but she's on Twitter, and from what I've seen, their Twitter can get way worse. All right, so that doesn't, what about Twitter? It doesn't. I'm a teacher, and when I started, ratemyteacher.com was a thing. As a new teacher, I'd check it. Then I found out my coworker used to write her own reviews. So everyone, whether it's Rate My Teacher or whether it's that dating app where you rate your ex-boyfriends, and no matter what it is, curiosity will kill the kitten, right? Every time Bachelor people post about Reddit, I wonder if it brings in a lot of new curious users to the sub. Every time a contestant posts about how hurtful Reddit is and it's posted here, I always say, yeah, I'd avoid it too. Reddit can be such a cesspool. I don't know why this always hits a nerve with some people in the sub. Sometimes people say mean things. Reddit is literally no different from any other social media site. They act like Reddit is a safe haven for people to be anonymous, to say whatever they want while they complain on Twitter. I do have to say, Reddit is way more anonymous than Twitter. Twitter, yeah, you can be anonymous, but for the most part, a lot of people you stand by your name, your username, unless you create a troll account. But the deal with Reddit is, and again, I'm on Reddit. It's my first and last name. I have different Reddits because once in a while I'll get banned for posting links and stuff. Or not banned, but sometimes it'll be like, all right, you're not allowed to post for 3 more days. So I'm like, all right, I'll have to sign on a different account. But I haven't used my other accounts in probably over a year. But my point is I say what I mean and I mean what I say. And I'm going to post that under my name because I'm not going to I have some identity I hide behind. So there's nothing that's worse than reading comments that strangers left for you that don't even have like a name. Like if someone had an Instagram and they left you a troll comment, you could click on their Instagram and be like, really, you're a dad with 2 kids and you're going to talk to a woman like this? You know what I mean? Like you can begin to fight back. So it's almost like getting heckled, but you can't see or interact with a heckler. So how do you fight that back? Someone said, well, good luck in stand-up. Seriously, I hate how if you criticize anything they do, they just label it as toxic, especially targeting Reddit because it's only the few places that isn't filled with their bot followers just blindly worshiping them. I have to say this, Katie and all these other people, yes, there's bots exist, fake followers, but I wouldn't call their fans bot followers. They just have empathy and a liking of them, so they'll forgive them if they have a misstep. They'll forgive Katie or whoever it is that we're talking about because they understand that they're humans. Whereas I think Reddit kind of reduces people to like a subhuman vibe. I actually think Reddit's psychopathic, and I think most of social media is too, because you do things that you would never do in person. So what this one person says, well, good luck in stand-up. I'll tell you, 9 years in stand-up, I've never been talked to, including from hecklers, in live stand-up like the way I've been talked to on Reddit. Absolutely not. So when someone says, well, good luck in stand-up, stand-up's hard. Stand-up's a very challenging art form, and most people that try it fail, and most people that do good at it still fail. And with all that said, they don't talk to me or anyone else like a stranger, like a Deborah or a Samantha or a Steven, some random ass person on Reddit has the gall to talk. So I reject that whole like, oh, you need thicker skin. No, I think as humans, we actually don't need thicker skin. I think we need to keep calling out when we, but in Katie's example, she says, look, she avoids it altogether. She knows she's not going to change it. She went into it as someone who regularly lurked on Reddit and understood the gameplay of Bachelor and all these things. And then once they started to turn on her, and it's like, what good does that serve her? And for all the other people that are villains out there that, never got the non-villain edit, they kind of left as villains. They just had to realize that like who they are in their real life is completely different. Even people like Jed or Piper and Brendan, in their real lives, they are not interacted with in the same way that the Reddit community interacts with them. So it just makes you wonder, like at some point, if it's not feeding you in a positive way, get off of there. Now, I'm on here, of course. I probably get 3/4 of my content from the Reddit community. It's a very popular place to sort of crowdsource all of that. This sub can undoubtedly be extremely toxic and mean, but I don't find it to be half as bad as Instagram comments, and contestants never talk about permanently deleting their Instagram for their mental health. This may be a cynical take, but I honestly think it's because they make their money off Instagram, but they can't make money off Reddit. I'm not saying Reddit doesn't suck, but the worst of the worst is either automatically filtered or removed by mods, while contestants have to read all of that stuff on their Instagram and in their DMs and manually delete block themselves. Not to mention the T pages that can get extremely unhinged. Contestants literally get death threats in their DMs. Well, like I said, I think it's the community aspect. Reddit feels more like a community, so rather than a random troll hating you, it feels like the whole crowd's out to get you. And I have to say, I kind of understand on a much lower level because I have experienced that before where people will post like things like, when my channel first started taking off this spring, I don't know, Dave, I don't trust him. What's he saying? This and that. Just people questioning my general character. Like, I'm a decent person, but I'm not some Mother Teresa, and I'm not a convict either. I'm just like the rest of everybody, trying my best with the information I have. Have I said ignorant things before? Absolutely. Have I learned from my mistakes? You betcha. So we just live in this world where we expect perfection out of people. Katie doesn't give them perfection, and we should be embracing that rather than what we have done, which is sort of like create these communities on Reddit where we can be like, no, we've decided we don't like her. Very strange. The only thing it reminds me of is Burn Book, Mean Girls. That's what it is, right? It's just Reddit has created a forum where people can express their opinions when you don't really need to. And to the credit of people on Reddit, they go, look, we're not tagging her in these threads. This is our safe space to talk trash about someone else. And my thought with that is, what is it? Loose lips sink ships. Is that how it goes? Like, if we're all, and again, I'm the first to kind of like take gossip and make it irreverent and fun and this and that. But I hope in most cases I'm not fueling any sort of negative vibes or feelings towards anyone. We've taken these random 20 and 30 something and 40 something people and put them into into a dating show that follows them in a mansion, fantasy suites, all this stuff. It's like, they're not experts. They're not doctors, and I mean, some of them are, but they're not people who we should value any higher than we do. And we also shouldn't tear them any more than anyone we would to in their real face. So I always say, if you wouldn't say something to their face, maybe don't say it at all. And I've had to learn that with my channel, as a lot of previous contestants now watch my channel. I've had to go, all right, well, knowing that an audience might involve people that are leads from a show or on the show, I should maybe be mindful that I'm not contributing to any hate that they already have received. And I think in doing so, we realize that we can have a little bit more empathy because they're just trying their best. All right, folks. Well, more content coming your way. Let me know what you guys think, and stay in touch for all of Katie's other 12 messy guys. And we've got 40, let's say I'm at 45,000 or 46,700 subscribers. So make sure to subscribe, and we'll inch our way to 50,000. All right, bye, everybody.